Hi everybody, it's Mary Ellen from Create With Me, and I'm here in the nest. And last week I showed you a fun technique using our Stampin' Blends and vellum paper and alcohol to make some gorgeous backgrounds. They looked somewhat like this. Okay, I'm going to kind of try to get in the camera. So we turned this vellum into this gorgeous watercolory splotchy background. And then I'm going to take you down to my desk, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do next, just to take that up to the next level. So take a look at this. This is that same background, and then we've added this gold veining, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. Isn't that just a super wow? It's just amazing. So let's go ahead and take these off. And here's the vellum that we colored last week, and I colored on this side, and so I'm going to flip that over. I like to go on the side that I haven't used the ink on. And what you're going to need for this is you're going to need your fine tip glue pen, and you're going to need some gold leafing. Okay, so I've got gold leafing and a fine tip glue pen, and then it probably helps to have a sponge or something handy too. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your fine tip glue pen, and I'm going to give you some tips on that. There's this fun, not fun, practical pin here, and that will keep your glue unclogged. So that's the nice thing about this fine tip glue pen. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to just go around some of my kind of where the two colors bleed together, and do some squiggles. You're gonna just have to guess on where it needs to go. You don't have to be fussy. You can wiggle it, you can go straight, you can make some thicker and then go thinner, and then peel that out to a really thin. Maybe, go a little thicker and then go out thin, and just put it wherever you want it. Then just a little tip on this. Sometimes I just take my finger and use it as a guide, and that makes that go right in. So make sure you're keeping that covered, because this stuff will kind of clog the tip if you don't. So now I'd like to, whoa, I just had a gold leaf explosion here in my lap. So I like to keep my gold leaf in something that's just a smidge bigger than what it comes in, because it's just so expansive and fluffy, and it goes everywhere. So all I do is I sometimes I get some of the bigger pieces, but it doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to lay that down onto my glue. I'm not going to wait for it to dry, because if it dries, it won't stick. So I'm going to do it as quick as I can. I'm going to press and lay and press. Just put it on there and then press it in and let it dry. Okay? So we're going to lay it on there. It's going to go everywhere. That's okay. All you're doing is pulling out some of your scraps. Just going to see if there's some glue up there. And all I'm going to do is just let that dry. I felt a little bit of wet on my hand, so I think must be a little dot of glue there. I just let that dry. Okay, I'm just going to sit it there. If I want, I can take a scrap piece of paper. Let me see what I've got here on my desk. I've got some white copy paper. I could just lay that on there, give it a press. Just keeps it from getting all over the place. It's probably going to stick to my paper, but that's okay, because this will just tap right back into my container. Okay, and I always work on some kind of a paper so that I can get it back in, because this is reusable over and over and over again. After it's dry, and I'm not sure that this is completely dry, but I'm going to just rush the process. I would let it dry a little bit longer. All you have to do is go ahead and just rub your sponge. I'm going to do it really lightly because I'm not sure that it's completely dry. It's looking pretty good. Rub it over it. Knock off the excess. And really, that's all there is to it. Now it's ready to be made into a beautiful card. Let it dry and then you can get off some of the excess. I did my lines a little thicker, so I've got some color. But look at this side too. So I'm going to put it on my white paper again. This side is really pretty. So if you decided, oh, you know what, I want to have it more subtle, you've got some really pretty gold tones in there on the other side. Or you can just go bright and bold, just like this. So I'm going to bring and this I can just scoop back in, but I'm going to just bring these back in and show you. One thing I neglected to tell you was how I adhere the vellum to the cardstock. So if you notice that I have these mounted on Whisper White cardstock, that really makes the colors and the gold veining pop the best. And you're going to wonder, well, how do you glue that on without seeing glue come up? That's a really good question, and I forgot to answer that for you, so I'm going to just add on this short video. I use adhesive sheet, so this whole piece has an adhesive sheet under it, and that works perfectly wonderful to add it to the white cardstock as a layer. So I wanted to make sure I popped on here and added that little aside, because I know if you do this technique, you're going to get to that point. You're going to wonder, well, what kind of glue do I use that's not going to show through? The adhesive sheets are wonderful. So again, when you're ordering your fine tip glue pen and your gold leafing and your blends of the colors that you wanted, add some adhesive sheets because you're going to need those too. So you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you.